Welcome to All Pro Football Data. My name is Jim Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about Marshawn Lloyd, running back out of USC. We're going to be looking at his overall data profile to kind of see where he shapes up to in this particular draft class. Lloyd played 2 seasons in South Carolina before transferring to USC in 2023, and he is an interesting running back. He tested well at the combine, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing a video on him, and also because a couple listeners have suggested it. But let's get into his profile. So first off, starting with his offensive market share scores, you can pause the video if you kind of want to learn more about how I get these scores. But looking at it, he was not the best in terms of this particular area. 37th percentile in terms of his total offensive market share, 40 percentile in terms of receiving market share, and then 50 percentile in terms of touchdown market share. He has battled injuries in his career, which is kind of what caused him to have this type of production, but he doesn't quite have the best profile in terms of his athleticism traits. Well, not athleticism, but just production traits, I should say. Moving on to his efficiency scores, you can learn more about how I get those scores here. But taking a look at those areas, his touch average yards per touch was decent. His reception, it was also decent. And his TD percentage was also pretty decent, above the 80 percentile. So he was a very efficient back. So even though his production wasn't that great, he definitely had very good efficiency scores for himself. Moving on to his athleticism traits, this takes a look and kind of shows you how I get those numbers. But he had a 87 percentile explosion score, 90 percentile speed score, and did not take part in the flexibility testing, in terms of short shuttle 3 count to kind of determine those things. But he is a explosive and fast back. These are great numbers for any running back and pretty much hit the All-Pro/Pro Bowl level for him. Moving on to his adjusted production scores. Adjusted production is the context of his production. So it's how productive is he for his age, his level of competition, and of course his strength of schedule. Taking a look at those numbers, 23 percentile in terms of age, 59 percentile in terms of his MSA rating, and then 79 percentile in terms of his pass rating. So his efficiency helps his pass rating, because pass rating takes a look at his efficiency. But when you just look at him in terms of just pure production, he was kind of in the 59 percentile. So he's a kind of a mixed back, but I think the biggest concern is really the age. When you look at the age data for him, that's kind of the biggest concern. Moving on to the comparisons for him. These are all the running backs that tested most similar to Marshawn Lloyd based on his production traits and some other sort of traits here and there. Again, not a whole lot of starters in here. There are some interesting names like Spencer Ware. Ware was able to kind of carve out some time on various teams like the Chiefs. C.J. Anderson also was able to carve out some starts, of course, with the Denver Broncos. But you can clearly see that there's not a whole lot of, immensely successful running backs on here. And his age is he's definitely the oldest out of all the running backs on this particular list. So those are definitely concerns for Lloyd. He's an older back, not that productive, and he is athletic, but again, those are definitely some concerns. Overall, for the outlook of Marshawn Lloyd, I would say he profiles as a backup to spot starter long term. The biggest red flag in his profile is his age and lack of production in college. He has elite athleticism traits, but most backs with this profile become rotational backs in the NFL. And if he does find success as like a C.J. Anderson, Spencer Ware, or even Damian Williams type, you do need to proceed with caution. He's somebody that I think if he does find success early on a team, then you should definitely trade him for as high as you can possibly get him. So definitely keep him, profit a little bit off of him if you're going to be drafting him. But definitely I would consider jumping ship as fast as possible from him because, that's just kind of how it is with backs that are like this. They're very volatile. So with all that stuff out of the way, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this channel. It really helps out a lot when you guys like, comment, and do all those things. Also, when you subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're reminded when another video of mine comes out. Also, thank you guys so much for following my Twitter account, also at Geometrics, also known as X now. And of course, check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/jcoburn. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.